Hello everybody, and welcome to the inaugural episode of every animated movie of the year. So, last year, I wanted to make an effort to see every single animated movie, which didn't end up happening, but I'm kind of okay with that because I wasn't too thrilled with the group of films from last year anyways. Now, this year things will be different because this year I will be seeing and doing short-form, spoiler-free reviews on every single animated film to release in 2016. And to up the ante a bit, I'll be putting them in order from best to worst on a giant list. I should also mention that in the future, these reviews will come out much closer to the release of the films. Due to Farewell Gravity Falls month, these have been pushed back a bit. But they're here now, so let's get into them. Norm of the North. Distributed by Lionsgate and produced by Assemblage Entertainment and Splash Entertainment, two animation companies who brought us Alpha and Omega 2 and a whole bunch of Bratz movies, respectively. And out of the gate, I hate to say that this movie easily earns its 7% Rotten Tomatoes rating. I know this is gonna sound harsh, but honestly, this is the worst animated movie I've ever seen in a movie theater. And that's one of the big issues, I think. This thing feels so much like a straight-to-video movie that the fact that it got a wide theatrical release is just flat-out bizarre. Now, I've seen the first entry in the aforementioned Alpha and Omega series, and as you'd expect from a straight-to-DVD Redbox kind of movie, it was pretty safe and bland and inoffensive. But when you're paying $10 for a movie ticket like you are with Norm of the North, things start to get a little bit ridiculous. I mean, I'm the kind of person, I've never walked out of a movie theater before, and I've never asked for a refund before, and this is the first time I've ever thought about asking for a refund for my money. I didn't end up ultimately doing that because the sort of producer, creator in me realizes that there's a whole team of hardworking people that put this thing together, but still, it's the first time I've thought about asking for my money back. So what's the movie about? Well, Norm is a polar bear who can inexplicably talk to humans. He goes to the city to try to become a star as well as save the North by becoming a dancing star? Which is so confusing to me. They make such a big deal in this movie about the fact that he's a bear who can talk to humans, and he's the only one who can do it. So it seems obvious to me that him being a singer would make a lot more sense. I don't know. The plot of this movie is a complete mess. 1 second it's going here, 1 second it's going there. The next second there's a bizarre romance shoehorned in. And the next thing you know, there's one of many painfully awkward dance numbers happening. Not even to a really popular current song like you'd think, just to some royalty-free website music. The movie does try to save itself though by pulling a Minions/Penguins cuteness kind of thing with these lemmings. And they are cute, but ultimately the hole it's dug for itself is just too deep. I will, however, come to the defense of the voice cast at least. Rob Schneider and Heather Graham feel like they are really putting forth a genuine effort and trying to bring some life to their characters, which is actually more than I can say for a certain actress in our next review. Either way, I hope I can see them perform characters in a bit of a better movie someday. I realize that Rob Schneider is like very low-hanging fruit when it comes to making fun of people in Hollywood, but he actually does like a really good job in this movie considering what he's given. Ken Jeong is also pretty funny as well as the greedy villain, Mr. Green. Bit on the nose there with the villain name. Why am I even? Look, if you haven't seen this one yet, definitely skip it. Even if only for some kind of a bad movie night with friends, it's not that kind of a bad movie. You'll only get really, really bored. So let's throw to the list, where Norm of the North is the best animated movie of the year. But I don't see Norm and the gang holding onto that spot for very long, which brings us to our next review. If we're talking about hype, I'm always way more excited for DreamWorks' How to Train Your Dragon movies and the Kung Fu Panda movies than any other animated films. If there's one place DreamWorks beats out other studios, it's with its action, which is always a cut above the rest. I also really love these series because they show that animated movies with a bit of lore and kind of a fantasy edge can still thrive in a landscape of cuteness overload. Of course, when it comes to Kung Fu Panda, our topic for today, well, yes, of course it has its share of cuteness, but it also has a ton of really awesome kung fu, as the name would suggest. In fact, I'm still gushing over the Tai Lung prison escape scene from the first film. That's how you introduce a villain. But onto the third installment. I've gotta say, I really love this one. Now that Po is more comfortably serving as the Dragon Warrior from the second film, he must now learn to become a teacher, which is a struggle for Po because he doesn't really know who he is, and that plot thickens with the arrival of his birth father, and thickens further still with the arrival of an ancient spirit realm warrior named Kai, who is hunting and stealing the chi from all of the great kung fu masters. The main villain Kai, played with a humorous edge by J.K. Simmons, is very cool to watch due to his unique jade chain blades, which bring plenty of interesting combat scenarios and visuals. He can also turn captured kung fu masters into jade zombies, which is also just damn cool. And as you can tell, I liked him a lot. But what made the movie great for me is, amongst all of the crazy jade kung fu masters and Kai just wreaking havoc, the heart of the story is about Po understanding who he is, and both his adoptive father and his birth father figuring out their relationship with Po. In visuals, fighting, humor, charm, heart, story, all of those aspects, I highly prefer it to the second installment. The voice cast, as usual, is stellar. Everyone brings something interesting and different, and Jack Black, of course, brings the one-of-a-kind vibe that only he can bring for Po. My one kind of nitpick, and this has been with all of the Panda movies, is Angelina Jolie. Sure, she's fine. I mean, Tigress is kind of a stern character anyways, but Jolie does it so one note that I'm always asking, why pay Angelina Jolie's likely ridiculous salary for that performance? There's nothing unique about her voice at all. I mean, if no one told me it was her in the first film, I never would have known or guessed. Like, let's shell out a little extra to get David Cross or Jackie Chan or Seth Rogen. Their voices are unique enough to justify the price bump, in my opinion. So there's my little rant for you there. Overall, I thought Kung Fu Panda 3 was really great. Tons of creative new action, plenty of development for the already rich lore of the films and TV series. A few laughs and plenty of heart. I highly recommend checking this one out, even in 3D if you're so inclined. Normally, I don't go to movies in 3D, but this one could be pretty cool in 3D just due to all of the really creative action sequences that it has. So with that, let's throw it over to the list, where Kung Fu Panda 3 is the best animated movie of the year. Of course, bumping Norm of the North down to the number 2 spot. Obviously, this list will continue to change and evolve as the year goes on. But I gotta say, with Kung Fu Panda 3 being as solid as it was, the rest of the year's films have got their work cut out for them as far as I'm concerned. So I'm excited to see what they bring, and I hope you are too. And we'll see it all right here on every animated movie of the year. I'll see you next time.